Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam.
Hello friends, this is Professor Neelam Panchal from Gujarat University and I welcome you all in this session on meaning and principles of organizing. Let me introduce you to the topic. Friends, organizing is the second component of the management following planning. So, the organizing is a process which results in the structure of the organization. Organizing in general is the systematic arrangement of the activities. Organizing symbolizes and combines human, physical and financial resources. Organizing as a process is a process of subdividing and grouping of the activities. It is necessary that organizing must have more than one person. It is an attempt to achieve a common objective. So, in that case, it is important to define the role of everyone, define the role, authority and responsibility and coordinate and synchronize the team to achieve the objectives. Organizing does this task. Without organizing, it would not be possible to achieve the objective since no one would be aware of what he is supposed to accomplish. So, there would be overlapping and clashes between the work. So, organizing determines the work to be done by the employee and provides him with the right use of the material, machinery, equipment and so on. So, the organization's work is divided into several job positions. Relationships are then established among various positions within the organization. So, we can say that it is a process of set of the formal relationships which is known as the organization structure. So, in this session, we are going to examine the process of organizing which leads to the creation of the organization structure. Let me explain you the objectives of the session. The objectives of the sessions are to narrate the importance of organizing, to describe the different interpretation of the word organizing, meaning and definition of organizing, steps in organizing process and understand the formal process of organizing. Let us try to understand in detail. So, the term organization is derived from the word organism. So, as in the case with the organisms, each part has its character working autonomously but has definite relationship with the main body. Similarly, under the organization, the entire business is distributed into different parts and completes their function. But they are all related to the main objective of the business. Thus, the organization means dividing the whole organization into various departments and departmental positions and the relationship between them. Moreover, to run their work smoothly, their authority and responsibility must be prescribed. So, it must be made clear that the need for an organization arises only when there are a couple of people working in the enterprise. So, if there is only one person, he is supposed to perform all the functions with a single hand and there will be no need to divide the work. So, in the absence of a division of work, organization is not working. Let us see the definition of organization. So, different people have given a different views about the meaning of the organization. According to Henne, organization is the harmonious adjustment of the specialized parts for the accomplishments of some common purpose or purposes. According to Heyman, organization is the process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprise and establishing the authority relationship among them. According to McFarland, an identifiable group of people contributing their efforts towards the attainment of the goal is called an organization. According to Chester Bernard, Organizing is a function by which the concern can define the role positions, the jobs related, and the coordination between authority and responsibility. Hence, a manager always must organize to get the results. A study of all the definitions make it very clear that organization is a process to define and classify the functions to be performed for the attainment of the objectives of the organization and establish the relationships among different organizational positions. Before we get into further discussion, it is important here to understand the meaning of the three words, that is responsibility, authority and accountability. Let us try to understand one by one. So, what is responsibility according to you? Can you jot down on a paper? Responsibility is the obligation of subordinate to perform the assigned duties. When a subordinate accepts duties, he must perform those duties in a manner desired by the superior. Authority, on the other hand, it encompasses the right to decide, the right to issue orders and the right to act if the orders are not implemented. Now, when a person is given certain duties to perform, he must also be given the necessary authority to perform those duties as well. Otherwise, he will not be able to do the task assigned. An engineer, for example, who is responsible for the completion of the project has the authority to command his subordinates, procure the necessary material and seek the assistance of the experts. Otherwise, he will not be able to perform effectively. No individual should be given any authority until certain task has been assigned to him. So, authority should always adhere to the responsibility, otherwise authority could misuse. Thirdly, accountability. So, after assigning the duties and granting the authority, one additional relationship becomes known as accountability. Accountability means answerability. Each subordinate receives the assistance of his superior for the performance of the work and the use of the authority. Accountability flows upward and cannot be delegated. It is absolute. Each subordinate is accountable to his superior, who is accountable to his superior. So, in this way, every individual in a chain is accountable to the highest level of the management. So, accountability ensures that the work is done as planned and the authority is properly used. An essential principle of accountability is the principle of single accountability. A person must be accountable to one superior only. So, if a person is responsible for two or more individuals, he may not be able to do the work. Now, let us see what are the characteristics of organizing. From the study of various definitions given by the different management experts, let us try to look into what are the characteristics of organizing. So, the first is division of work. A division of work is the basis of an organization. So, there is no organization where the work cannot be done by an individual. Entire work is divided into numerous parts and each part of it is further divided into subparts. Individuals are assigned their role into the work. Now, this piece of work, when performed repeatedly, is gradually becoming an expert. Subsequently, an effort is made to achieve the objectives successfully through the division of work. Second is a coordination. So, organizing coordinates the work of different individuals for the attainment of the objectives. The entire work is divided and subdivided into different job positions and their authority and responsibility are clearly defined. Thus, superior subordinate relationships can be established. Everyone is aware of his role in the organization and there are no overlapping and clashes over the work duties. Next is plurality of persons. So, an organization is a group of many individuals who organize to fulfill a common purpose. An organization structure cannot be created when there is only one individual to perform the entire task. Next is the common objectives. So, the organization strives to achieve the common objectives. There are various parts of the organization that are performing their functions. However, each function has been designed to achieve the specific objectives. Next is a well-defined authority and responsibility. So, under the organization, relationships are established between different positions right from top to bottom. It is specified as to what will be the responsibility of every position, and sufficient authority is given to fulfill the responsibility assigned. There should be parity between the authority and responsibility. So, if the authority is more than the responsibility, there will be a lack of authority. Next is organization is a structure of relationship. So, organizing define the roles, positions and relationship between these positions in the organization and defines the responsibility and authority for the performance of these functions. It establishes superior subordinate relationships. It establishes a framework for achieving organizational goals. Now, let us try to understand importance of organizing. So, the importance of organizing becomes clear with the help of different points, which includes number 1, benefits of specialization. So, under organizing, all the activities are subdivided into various works or jobs. Each sub-work will be assigned to competent individuals who become experts by doing a particular job once and twice. This is why the division of work leads to the specialization. Next is a clarity in the working relationship. So, organizing clarifies the working relationships among the job positions. It establishes the authority and responsibility. It specifies who is to report to whom. Thus, the communication becomes effective. It also helps in fixing the accountability. Next is the optimum utilization of resources. So, organizing leads to the optimal utilization of resources. Each job position is clearly defined and its authority and responsibility is emphasized. It avoids the confusion and duplication of any job. Subsequently, there is optimal utilization of all the available resources, for example, machine, material, finance and human and others in the organization. Next is the adaptation to change. So, the organization is able to adapt any change, and this will only be possible if there is a clear network of relationship between the top and the lower level. It also enhances the communication of any type. Next is a effective administration. Friends, organizing makes the administration more effective by clarifying the authority of each individual position and its responsibility. Everyone is aware of whom he is accountable to. In this way, the confusion on the authority is eliminated and effective administration is possible. Next is a development of personnel. So, organizing facilitates the development of personnel through a delegation of authority. A superior can delegate his authority to subordinate. It provides a subordinate with an opportunity to make more significant decisions. It only motivates them but also gives them a chance to show their creativity. Consequently, it helps them to grow and develop. Next is expansion and growth. The process of organizing allows the employees the opportunity to make the decisions which help them to grow. They are always ready to face new challenges. Now, this situation can help in the development of the enterprise. This contributes to the growth of the enterprise, which in turn contributes to its development. Now, let us try to understand the principles of the organization or requisites of an ideal and a sound organization. Let us look into what are the principles. So, the first is the principle of unity of objectives. Friends, all the activities in the organization should aim to achieve the common goals. Now, all the departmental objectives must be clearly defined and should aim at achieving the overall goal of the organization. Additionally, efforts must be taken to synchronize individual goals with the organizational goals. Second is a principle of specialization. So, it is noted that the sound and the effective organization rests on the specialization. When an employee takes a particular type of knowledge and a skill in any area, it is known as the specialization. So, by dividing the work into small tasks, each worker is required to perform a task repeatedly. Now, in this way, he becomes an expert in the field and benefits the organization by focusing on it. Next is the principles of coordination. So, the organization establishes the coordination, and coordination is achieved by the group efforts which clearly define the roles that emphasize the unity of action. Next is a principle of parity of authority and responsibility. So, authority is the authority or right to give the orders, make decisions, enforce the obedience. The responsibility is the responsibility to perform the duties assigned. So, there should be a balance between the authority and the responsibility. Otherwise, more authority than required will lead to a decrease in the authority. Similarly, without sufficient authority, responsibility cannot be fulfilled effectively, as the employee will not have the authority to make the decisions and enforce his orders. Next is a principle of delegation. The process of shifting the authority and the creation of responsibility between the superior and subordinates to accomplish the certain task is called the delegation of responsibility. So, a superior can delegate authority but not the responsibility. Responsibility is absolute. Now, the ultimate responsibility rests with him only. So, he should be able to accept his superior for non-performance of the work by his superiors. Furthermore, the principle of authority and responsibility should not be disregarded in the delegation. Next is a scalar principle. So, under this principle, all the individuals working in the organization should be bound with one another from the top to bottom in a vertical chain. For example, board of directors, then general manager, then departmental manager, then supervisor, then foreman, and then workers. So, from top to bottom, there is a chain here in this example. Next is a principle of unity of command. So, subordinates should receive the orders from a single superior at a time, and all the subordinates should be responsible for that superior only. More superiors result in a confusion, delay, and shirking of the work. Next is a principle of the span of control. So, the term span of control refers to the number of employees under the direct supervision of the superior. The greater the number of control is more difficult to supervise and coordinate. However, it depends on several factors such as superiority and the nature of the work and so on. The span of control influences the number of levels in the organization. Next is a principle of flexibility. So, organization structure must be flexible in the context of the environmental dynamism. Occasionally, the change may need to be incorporated in the organization structure due to the changes in the environmental factors, and in that case, the organization structure should have the ability to perform the change. Next is the principles of simplicity. So, these principles focus on the simplicity of the structure. So, the structure of the organization should be straightforward with a minimum number of levels so that its employees can comprehend duties and authority easily. Additionally, a simple structure is cost effective and easy to comprehend. Now, let us try to look into what is the process of organizing. So, let us understand the steps. Number one is determining the activities to be performed to achieve the objective of the organization. So, after defining the objectives of the organization, as the next step, it is necessary to determine the activities to be performed to achieve those objectives. At this point, a list of activities is created and each major activity is divided into smaller actions. For example, manufacturing garments may require the activities such as purchase of raw material, purchase of manufactured goods, production, quality control, advertisement, sales, finance, accounting, arrangement of the employees, and so on. Next is a grouping similar activities. So, the next important step is group the activities based on the similarity or relatedness, and this is known as classification of the activities. So, the activities of the same nature are grouped and assigned to a particular department. For example, purchase of the raw material, purchase of the manufactured components, etc. they are given to the purchasing department. Similarly, financial arrangements, accounting, maintenance of accounts, they can be given to the finance and accounting department. Now, the next step is assignment of the duties. Friends, at this stage, the tasks are really assigned to each post. So, right allocation of the task is very important. For example, purchase of the raw material and manufactured goods will be assigned under the purchase manager. Finance manager would be responsible for making the financial arrangements. While assigning these duties, it is important to match the nature of the work and the abilities of the individuals to whom the work is assigned. Also, necessary authorities assigned to them for the performance of the work. So, it is necessary to avoid the conflict and confusion and ensure that the work is completed as planned. Next is establishing the reporting relationship. So, the final step is to define the interrelationship among the various positions. When two or more than two persons are required for the attainment of the common goals for the proper administration, their interrelationship must be defined very clearly. One should know as to who is superior to whom and who is the subordinate. For example, the purchase manager would be superior for all the employees of the purchase department and the subordinate to the general manager. A clear organization structure is created and all the employees are aware of it. Now, these ensures the overall control and coordinated effort toward the achievement of the predetermined goals of the business. Now, let us try to understand what are the limitations of organizing. So, can you think over what are the limitations of organizing? Can you write on a piece of paper? And then let us try to understand. So, the first is difficulty in interdepartmental coordination. All the departmental heads may work as per their wish. No doubt these facilitates coordination within the department, but it makes interdepartmental coordination difficult. Next is a hurdle in the complete development. So, this system is a hurdle in the way of the complete development of the employees. Each employee specializes only in small part of the whole job. Next is a conflict of interest. Every departmental head wants to become a functional empire. To satisfy their ego, everyone demands maximum resources to the department. Now, this situation leads to the conflict among various departmental heads. Next is the ignorance of the organization objectives. So, each departmental head works according to their sweet will. So, they work always give more importance to their departmental objectives. Hence, overall objectives of the organization may suffer. For example, to establish its image, the production department may produce the quality products, ignoring the fact that the market trend favors accepting medium quality products. So, now after understanding all these fundamentals, let me summarize the session. What we have learned in this session is organizing. It is a process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprise and establishing the authority relationship among them. Organizing provides the structure to the business enterprise. Organization arises only when the number of people working in an enterprise is more than one. If there is only one person, he is expected to perform all the functions single-handedly and there will be no need to divide the work. In the absence of the division of the work, organization is meaningless. We have studied the process of organizing and by following the process, there is a systematic division of the work and a clarity of authority and responsibility. Organization structure is both formal and informal, which persist within the organization, and both are important for the successful running of the concern. So, I hope you are clear with the fundamentals and I hope you like the session. Thank you.